Good afternoon, happy Saturday, keepers of the cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy here, and we're here with Savage Saturday Comic Review, episode 81, continuing the first story arc of Zula and Conan the Barbarian comics. And today, it's going to be another treat, because these all are. Again, like I said last Saturday, this is in that sweet spot from 58 to 100. My favorite running comics, and just great stuff. You had incredible artists like John Buscema, Ernie Chan, Gil Kane, and just all sorts of goodness. You can't go wrong. So without further ado, I got two newsstand copies. So this is the minty one, which is staying in there. And we have cover art by John Buscema, and we have inks on that cover by Gasper Saladino. This is the reader copy. And great cover. So you got Conan, Billy, just getting attacked by swamp rats. And, you know, you can't see rats in a swamp without thinking of The Princess Bride and ROUSs. If you guys don't know what that is, then you need to see that movie. But, let's get into it. Alright, and the title of this one is called Savage Doings in Shen. And we have, of course, Roy Thomas doing the writing duties, and we have John Buscema and Ernie Chan art. Ernie Chan, of course, doing the inks. And picking up where we left off, they had made their trek across the land after leaving and fleeing Luxor. Tafeman is watching them, and you have Zephyra back in Luxor who wants them dead, and Peter Nubis who is working with her, and they all want Conan, Zula, and Belit to be no more. They all have their plans of domination of where they're at, and these guys are just getting in their way. Of course, they are going to Ascalon, where Belit wants to overthrow her evil uncle who killed his brother, Belit's father, and took over the throne. And he is being controlled by Peter Nubis, and we are just going to get more and more into this story. This tale is a journey to that city and what happens when they get just inside, and a lot of fun, a lot of adventure, but let's get to it. So, like I said, the first page here, the Tigris, Belit's ship, is out in the water, and the Corsairs are putting a boat in to come get the three and bring them back aboard. Now, they view Belit as a goddess and their queen, and once they're on board, Belit immediately meets Inyaga, who had smuggled her out as a child and has been her right hand ever since, and, well, her mentor, right? So, we got him as the mentor. We have Angora, who's her sub-chief, but he's not there. She kind of lets it go, because Inyaga says he'll be around shortly. So we have a little bit of intrigue of where Angora is at and why he's not with the crew as he should be. You got them being introduced to Zula for the first time, and they're kind of like, we thought all your tribe were killed to a man. He's like, yes, we were killed to a man. I was a boy then, but I've grown into manhood, and now I have sworn vengeance on those people. And so they start getting along. And they're having a little bit of revelry. They're enjoying themselves. They're even warming up to Zula. Zula's warming up to them. Performs a little magic hypnotism. And they're having a bunch of fun. Just having good times being reunited. And Zula mesmerizes one guy. Turns him into what he thinks. His name is Basara. And he thinks he's a rooster. And he's a seagull. And he's going to jump off the water. But of course, Zula stops him before and gives him back his, snaps him out of the hypnotism. And he says, the rest of the crew will tell you what happened, because you probably won't believe it out of my lips. Still probably won't believe it out of theirs. And you see Conan and Billy kind of getting a little bit of time to remember. And after the magic trick, the crew's in a really good mood. Conan's commenting on it. It's like, it's been a while since we've been able to have some laughs. And then Billy does her mating ritual dance for Conan, of course it's effective. And Conan and Belit are off to retire and have a little fun of their own in a way that only those two can, and just happy to be back in each other's arms. And then, of course, the next day we got Conan awakening and Belit following him out, and they have a quiet, peaceful mood together as lovers before the shout is sounded. Goddess Amra, Angora comes. Now, the Corsairs have always called Conan Amra, which means the lion. So that's what his name was. That is the name he went by when he was with Belit and the Black Corsairs, and they were sailing Stygian Sea, but up and down the trade routes. So as we see, Angora is in peril. He's surrounded by swamp rats. Conan's the first over. He's going to help save his comrade in arms. The guy he's fought side by side with many times on the Tigris, a guy who's earned his respect and who has Conan's who has Conan's respect, and Conan is just not going to sit there while a fellow comrade is fighting for his life. Wow, was that a hard word section for me? Of course, Belit, Zula jump overboard and they clear all the rats out. And Angora goes up there and he tells her about his mission, which was to go spy in Ascalon and learn about what's going on. And Belit says you shouldn't have gone. He goes, and she yells at Nyaga like, you should have told me. He's like, I told him not to. So he went there. He said he saw her uncle sitting in the seat of power, but he didn't seem like himself, and he seemed like he had dulled senses, which would suggest that he's been taken over and mesmerized himself. But he had fallen in, him and his other guys had fallen in with these people that were entering into, into Ascalon. So he was able to infiltrate it in this army that was entering. Otherwise, the army was going to slay them. They needed more people to help them. And allergies are killing me. Hold on. But they were more than happy to join this army and get everything going, get inside, and allowed him to spy. And he's telling her about all the court intrigues. There's 3 different parties who are kind of vying for the throne, kind of secretly, but everyone in the city knows about it. The rumors are going through the bars, they're going through the townsfolk, and it's just a matter of who's going to end up sitting the throne at some point. But you'll have 2 wizards in control with Peter Nubis and also Thafeman. So there is a lot going on and a lot of betrayal that's going to happen. And even Conan makes a remark. He says, Angora has done well, but by crime. Civilized men do more plotting than sleeping, it seems. And Belit's like, hey, all the monarchs in Chem are related more or less, which makes their wars all the more bitter. No matter, Ascalon's throne is mine alone. And, stupid allergies. So, we'll get going. 4 pages of ads, which is not uncommon for that period. And then you have Zula telling Belit that they should plan slowly and go in so they're not outnumbered. Belit's having none of it, even though her mentor in Yaga is telling her that what Zula says is true. But she sets out, and Zula pleads with Conan to talk some sense into Belit. And all Conan can say is, I have vowed to help her gain vengeance, Zula. Where she goes, I go. So Conan is bound by his word, which he will not change. And off they set. Now, Angora gets them in, saying that they're advisors for the guy that he entered the city with. And he says, by a juju man, must I call Imbaleo and his men simply to bring these advisors to him? He'll not like it. So the guards reluctantly let him in. And they are inside. And once they're in there, they're met by the team that Angora had waiting for them. And they've been riding by there every day around noon and just waiting to see when Angora would arrive with Conan and Belit. Alright, and once they're inside, Angora knows a secret entrance in. They get in, and there's a garden there, and Bleak goes, I remember no garden. He goes, you wouldn't, it's new. And then Miyagi brings him into the garden, and once they're in the garden, it's an ambush, and Goro has let him into an ambush, but not by his own doing. He has been touched by the wizard, Peter Nubis, and once he's done that, Peter Nubis has control of him until he lets go of that control. And you see a very sorrowful Ngora apologizing, and as they're battling, they are all eventually captured. Belit does not blame Ngora because she knows that it was against his will. And let's see. So Karak had them, all those guys waiting, and that's the uncle, to Belit's uncle, who slew her father. And Peter Nubis is here. He's going to go and he touches all of them in turn, which means that he could take control of their minds for a short time. And our issue ends with him setting them all against each other. Ngora, Zula, Conan, and Belit to the death, with none of them able to snap out of their revelry and their mesmerism until one or the other is dead. So there will be only one survivor, which he will then dispatch of himself, and that is the cliffhanger leading into the next part of this tale. So how are Conan, Belit, Zula, and Ngora going to get out of this mess? How are they going to overcome the mesmerism that has captured them all? Fun story, a lot of great action, a lot of great intrigue set up, and of course the odds are always stacked against our favorite Cimmerian and his friends, but they always seem to overcome, and that's the best part of the story, is seeing what they do to overcome the odds against them. And a great setup for next week. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I apologize for my allergies that have been bothering me, but guys, great issue. A++ cover. The Swamp Rats cover is just amazing. So much detail. A great inking job done by Gasper Saladino on John Buscema pencils, and just absolutely fantastic. Just another one of those covers you can keep looking at and finding new details in. Really great. Again, fast-paced, well-paced story. And I like that in this part, you get to see some happiness, right? You get to see people reunited. You get to see them celebrate being together. You get to see them enjoy each other's company, and you get to see the respect they have for one another before they are thrown back into a perilous situation. They have a little bit of time to live, and I think it's important in the books to show that. It can't just be one scene after another of peril to peril to peril. You need a little bit of the living to connect you with the characters, and you certainly got that in this issue. Roy Thomas has done a fantastic job, and again, A++ story, A++ art with Ernie Chan and Inca and John Buscema on the inside, and a great setup cliffhanger for the next issue. But that's it for this week, guys. Until next time, keep it casual. Attention all, use channel sponsor Rogue Trader at theroguetraderutah.com and my code Keep It Casual for 10% off your comic cleaning and pressing needs. Remember, when submitting your books to be graded, use a trusted professional.